Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here today. This is your fourth stimulus package update and daily news report. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin just laid out his long list of new demands as the Senate tries to move forward with the vote on the massive spending plan. A new $1,400 check could be sent out to millions of Americans. Democrats in Congress are pushing ahead with a sweeping $3.5 trillion bill, 10-year spending plan that marks the latest step in their drive to expand education, healthcare, and child care support, tackle the climate crisis, and make further investments in infrastructure. Party leaders are hoping to use the annual budget process to push through the massive broadening of the nation's social safety net envisioned in President Biden's jobs and family proposal that has been blocked by many Republicans. Unlike the Democrats' infrastructure package, which was passed by 69 votes in the Senate and is currently awaiting a vote in the House, the budget plan is unlikely to gain bipartisan backing, but it can go through reconciliation, which under the Senate rule means it can be passed with 50 Democratic votes alone. GOP lawmakers have already lashed out the size of the budget blueprint and multiple provisions that the Democrats are considering. The initial Senate resolution provides recommendations from the Senate Budget Committee to other committees. The bill itself has yet to be written, and the elements of it will likely be modified as it works its way through each committee. Lawmakers have a target date of September 15th of this month to submit their detailed legislation. The House has 13 committees of jurisdiction that have been working behind the scenes to get their portions of the reconciliation package done and ready for a floor vote later this month. The Senate Budget Committee, which released a framework agreement over the summer, says that the investments will be fully offset by a combination of new tax revenues, healthcare savings, and long-term economic growth. Though the summary does not provide many details, the instructions also list corporate and international tax reform and Internal Revenue Service tax enforcement as options, both of which Republicans shot down in the bipartisan infrastructure bill.
The gentlelady from Florida, Ms. Murphy, to strike the last word.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would move to strike the last word. We've been charged with writing important pieces of the bill that will become the Build Back Better Act. And I care deeply, both personally and professionally, about a number of the legislative proposals that we'll be discussing, like paid family and medical leave, access to childcare, retirement security, and health profession opportunity grants. More broadly, I recognize that in order to help working families, Democrats must advance these and other proposals through the reconciliation process because of Republican obstruction. You know, it's critical we legislate in a thorough and transparent way, even though, and I think especially because, Democrats are proceeding on our own. Process matters because I want my constituents to have faith in what I'm doing, and because a good process makes it more likely we'll produce a good bill that can actually become law. And yet to date, I've only received the text of Subtitle A through Subtitle E. And as far as I'm aware, our committee hasn't received official CBO scores of these subtitles, with the exception of Subtitle B, which involves retirement policy. And even more concerning, we've not yet received the remaining subtitles or the scores associated with them. And in fact, I don't even know how many more subtitles there will be. For example, we haven't seen the subtitle on prescription policy or the subtitle that will strengthen tax incentives to promote clean energy and combat climate change, nor have we seen the revenue subtitle that will pay for all of this. So as we begin the multi-day markup of this historic legislation, I don't know how much we're spending, how much we're raising, how we're spending some of the money, and how we're raising any of the money.
In the Senate, all roads lead to Joe Manchin. The West Virginia Democrat and his staff have been engaged for weeks in intensive negotiations with the chairs of the key Senate committees ahead of his party's release of a sprawling bill to expand the social safety net, laying down his demands on a wide range of issues, which include health care, childcare, education, and taxes. Joe Manchin is making it very clear that he won't cave in on aggressive climate provisions sought by many Democrats, throwing a wrench in his party's efforts to make the bill key to combating global warming. With Democrats needing every vote in their caucus to get the bill through the Senate along straight party lines, Joe Manchin has received more attention than any other Democrat, even as others like Arizona Senator Kristen Sinema have also balked at the $3.5 trillion price tag. Indeed, as committee chairs have held regular meetings with their members over the summer recess to shape key provisions of legislation under their jurisdiction, they often will later have individual meetings with Manchin, even if he does not serve on the respective committees. Joe Manchin has engaged in long discussions with rank-and-file Democrats as well, including Senator Michael Bennet, over the Colorado Democrats' push to broaden and bolster the child tax credit, which the West Virginian wants to bring down to a level far lower than what many in his party want. On education, Joe Manchin is trying to limit the Democrats' efforts to provide universal pre-K and tuition-free community college. He's talked to Democrats about limiting the number of Americans eligible for pre-K by setting income thresholds, while also discussing ways to measure students' performance for community college, assuming their tuition is paid over 2 years. And on healthcare, Manchin also suggested substantially reducing funding for home care services, which is a key priority of many Democrats. So everyone, what are your thoughts about all of this? Please leave them in the comment section below. The key word for this video is book. Please everyone, make sure to comment below this keyword to enter my Walmart gift card giveaway. As officials work to project the long-term impact of this crisis, one group is calling on Congress to issue a fourth round of stimulus checks just for older Americans. The advocacy group, the Senior Citizens League, is warning that the cost of goods and services is rising for people with fixed incomes, months before next year's federal cost of living bump. Government economic experts estimated recent increases in inflation mean that the cost of living adjustment for 2022 will approach 6%, a whopping jump from the mere 1.3% COLA was awarded for this year. Some of that may go higher for Medicare costs, however. The Medicare Part B premium for outpatient coverage was projected to rise by $10 a month in the year 2022 to $158.50 under the report's intermediate assumptions. The official number won't be released until later this year. The Senior Citizens League is mounting a large campaign to urge Congress to pass a fourth round of stimulus checks that would send $1,400 payments to Social Security recipients only. So everyone, what are your thoughts on the $1,400 payments for SSI recipients only? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much everyone for joining me here this afternoon.